Okay, Elaine, we're going to take a look at your week 1 assignment 3 drawing here. The materials, they look like you're using markers that are working out better. The blind technique on the top still lifes I think they're doing a nice job of just having kind of a nice thick stroke that's covering the shapes well. I do think that you've done a lot here. You've done twice as many as you need to, and I said this to Nerva. It's a lot easier to do these kinds of exercises if they're done a little bit larger. You've got 8 on a page, and I think if you actually have that, or even just did 2 on a page, it would be a lot easier to deal with some of these still life or some of these shape arrangements, because things like edge quality, corners, trying to maintain kind of the drawing that's underneath, it's a lot easier to do when you have more space, to work with. It takes more time, obviously, because you're covering more area, but I think it ends up making things look better overall. I think that these are all good starts, but they all have a lot of things to keep an eye on. The blind is doing a good job of getting the basics down. You have cuts all the way around each of your shapes, which is terrific. You've got a nice consistent stroke, especially in some of these. I think this is an excellent job of having a nice even stroke on all of the shapes and a nice consistent fill all the way through for the most part. The side to side, you're doing a great job of covering the shapes with a good amount of marker. Some very colorful choices, which is good, and there's a nice kind of distinction between each of the shapes, which is great to see. But they're all kind of showing some issues in terms of edge quality. For instance, here it doesn't look like you made the cut from here to here, so you're seeing kind of this ragged edge, where if you had made a cut, that would be covered up. The shapes in general, in almost all cases, feel very asymmetrical, especially the circles. They don't feel symmetrical at all. They feel either a little bit kind of oval-like, or they're lopsided on one side. So you have to make sure that the drawing underneath is very clean and shows, has the best amount of presentation that you can get it to be. There should be 90-degree angles for the corners of squares and rectangles. It should be a nice, clean, straight, vertical line. When you're going in with the marker, it should be nice and crisp. So there's areas where it does that, extremely well. The blue triangle, the yellow, rectangle look great, but here the magenta rectangle has a little bit of a wobble towards the end. It doesn't look like you've made a cut on the circle, or if you have, you haven't made a cut with the other colors, so there's definitely a staggering. It doesn't have that cleanliness. With the side to side, there's some fill consistency issues. A lot of this stuff can just be alleviated by saturating the page more, but you'll have to watch your edge quality. You've got a lot of areas where the shapes start to feel a little bit too rough because the marker's slipping past the cuts that you've made, and that's just you're going too quickly type of issue. You need to slow down a little bit. You're not going to be able to cover it all in one go, so just kind of take your time and slow it down. But we're seeing that in a lot of cases. This shape, this shape, this shape down here, they all feel a little bit too rough, and I think you just need to take your time and just try to get it as nice and clean as you can get it to be. The last thing is presentation. The file size is much too large, 32 by 24, so 4 times as big as we would like. Color cast initially, where it felt very red, very muted. You got a lot of background stuff going on, and it's distorted. So these are all issues that are going to take a hit on presentation. So you want to make sure that you're formatting them correctly first and foremost. Make sure it's the proper size, the proper resolution, and also preview the images before you post them up. You want to have a nice, good, solid picture, no distortion. Crop it if you need to, and try to get all the image into the picture plane so that you don't have any cuts off.